A 7.4 magnitude quake, like the one that just hit off Taiwan's east coast, is among the most powerful that any human will experience in any given year. Buildings shake. Entire floors disappear. And people get trapped, hurt, or worse. The earthquake hit at 7:58 a.m. local time, which was yesterday evening for us here in North America. At least 9 people are confirmed dead, but that number could still rise because in the immediate aftermath, authorities reported more than 100 people were trapped and nearly 1,000 were hurt. More than 100 buildings were damaged or partially collapsed. Tsunami warnings forced the cancellation of flights, especially ones to and from nearby islands. Power was knocked out for tens of thousands of people, and there were more than 100 confirmed aftershocks, many of them nearly as powerful as the initial quake. Let's go through what we know. The city hardest hit is called Hualien. About 300,000 people live there. This is what happened to a 9-story building at a major intersection near a night market. And you can see how it's teetering precariously towards the road, maybe even threatening other buildings nearby if it falls completely. Now, I actually found it on Google Street View because I wanted to see what the area looked like before the earthquake. So you can see here, this is the intersection, and you can see the building, that corner edge, pretty iconic. And if I move along the street here, you can actually see the angle that you see in a lot of the video making the rounds. There looks to be some place that sells or serves alcohol on the ground floor, judging from this sign that says light bar. And if I zoom in a little closer, you can see all of the signs, cases of beer, refrigerators with glass doors. So, hopefully what that means is where there was the worst damage, maybe because it was so early, there were fewer people there. But there were absolutely people trapped in the floors above. Fire crews had to climb up using ladders to pull people out. And this wasn't the only building to partially collapse in this way. Building after building came down. As far north as Taipei, their metro infrastructure was severely damaged. The Chiang Kai-shek Memorial, I was actually there last year. It's cordoned off right now. Hospitals, at least 7 reported damage, ranging from cracks in the walls, tiles falling, ceilings caved in, power cut off. Most were able to stay open. But, speaking of electricity, Taiwan's Central Emergency Command Center reported 91,000 homes without power. After an earthquake hits, one of the most urgent priorities is to rescue those people who are still alive but trapped in rubble. And according to Taiwan's National Fire Agency, around 60 people became trapped in a single tunnel. I'll show it to you. Remember, here's the epicenter of the quake. The Suhua Highway runs for about 120 kilometers up and down the island along these kind of like winding cliffs high above the Pacific Ocean. The Jinwen Tunnel along that route is about 400 meters long. There were another 15 trapped in a different tunnel along that same stretch of road, and 2 German nationals trapped in a third tunnel. But one of the big blessings and curses of where this quake struck is how remote this area is. So you can look how densely populated the entire western edge of Taiwan is. That's where you'll find every major city and a network of roads supporting them. But this highway along the East Coast, that's the lifeline. And at least one part of it looks like this. Before on the left, after on the right. And remember, this is hundreds of meters above the ocean, along dangerous, craggy cliff sides, surrounded by mountain ranges and dense wooded areas. Nearby, yet more people, a dozen of them, needed rescuing along the Shakadang Trail, which is a popular walkway. Falling rocks blocked paths, even killed at least 3 people further inland in Taroko Gorge. At a hotel near the gorge, there may also be as many as 50 hotel employees trapped, all traveling in a group of minibuses. Authorities tried calling them, but there's no answer, so they're listed as trapped for now. Because in this part of the Pacific, we're so often talking about coastal cities, and in Taiwan's case, an entire island, one of the more terrifying aspects of a major earthquake can be the tsunamis that come with it. And sure enough, almost immediately, tsunami warnings were issued. Taiwan is here. Okinawa, Japan, is to the northeast. You have the Philippines to the south, and much farther east, Hawaii. In all cases, the tsunami warnings were lifted very soon after they were issued. At most, I saw reports of waves in Taiwan and Japan hitting a foot or 2 above normal. The Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology reported no significant sea level disturbances. And according to the U.S. Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, based in Honolulu, the threat of any tsunami risk had largely passed based on all available data. That's very good news, but we may see more tremors, aftershocks, even days from now. That's common, but it means the danger isn't over. Japan has offered help, and so has China, which considers Taiwan part of its own sovereign territory.